not one of those guys that YouTube or social media will allow in situations without being barred or without being shadow banned. I actually look at it as an insult and a compliment at the same time. It's an insult because it's like, hey, what about fair play? What about allowing me to deduce from a situation or a subject what I choose to and then be able to convey my opinion about that to the mass, right? That's what we think. We look at this YouTube thing similar to free enterprise. I should have the right to put out my opinions on any subject matter, and if I could get a subject audience, that will be like, hey, we like what this guy's doing. What's up, Shane? And they take liking to what I'm speaking about. I should have that right, just as a YouTuber, to build my platform off of any subject matter I speak on. However, I've come to terms with the fact that I am powerful. I've come to accept that I can't expect to garner the organic attention that other YouTubers are allowed to garner. So I can't expect. I'm gonna be honest with you, Shane. I seen that question you asked me on the last post. I made my video from the place I made it from, but my personal business, like certain things like that, I don't divulge that on online. I'm very calculative to what I'm talking about, even when it seems like I might go off the rails or I'm just being scatterbrained or whatever. Why would I divulge to thousands or hundreds, millions, or whoever can see this video my personal plans? What what keeps me alive? You know what I'm saying? What feeds my family? I would never do that. I've never made a penny off of YouTube. So what goes on in my personal life, I don't divulge. I talk about aspects, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, the point that I was making was I should have that right to garner viewership and subscribers due to me being doing what every other YouTuber does, which is speaking my opinion. I don't have a gimmick like a lot of people do. Like I go through some live streams sometimes and I see these creative looking people. Like I seen a girl, she remind me of Hellraiser. She got piercings all over her face. I never seen nothing like that. I was like, damn, she quite interesting. I seen another woman, she was absolutely beautiful from the face to the waist. And then she finally she panned the camera out and she was in a wheelchair. And I was like, wow, it's so many interesting people. And then it's people with these nice backgrounds. They take time, whether they get a green screen or whatever, they dedicate a whole room to, like a Kaisenat. And they have these whole little setups devoted to attracting attention. And so I say all this to say, I haven't taken that time to make that kind of setup because I always like to think that my content is more powerful of what I'm speaking on. I'm from a generation where words matter, not just the image or the setup of everything. Like, words really matter. What is the conversation about? How good can this person articulate themselves and relay their point to everybody? Can everybody get it? Can they engage? Like, I'm into that, where I go to certain channels and I almost want to take some of my subscriberships back, but I've subscribed to people that they don't even take time to look in their comments and read what's going on and read what the people have to say. I'm the type of person, whether it blow up or don't blow up, or if it just stays at the same status quo that is getting with membership, I'm always try to interact with the people that are engaging with me because that's what it's about. If it's not about that, then what are we doing? Hopefully one day we have technology that can get rid of these bots and everything can be really organic and nothing can be just paid for with fake bots and things that's posted, whatever. I'm of the mindset most of the time when I'm speaking, the only people that are really concerned about what I'm saying is law enforcement. I'm also of the mindset that I'm talking to law enforcement when I speak, but I like to play the game. I like to play chess, so I often like to play stupid a little bit and just go ahead and speak frivolously as if I'm not knowing who my crowd is, right? As if I'm not being funneled to a certain sector and being shadow banned from the masses. I get it. So I say all that to say, I told you earlier on my previous podcast and stream, I said that I wasn't gonna go political, and I'm not. But I wanted to touch on the subject without being too specific. So I'm gonna start being vague when I speak on certain things. And in that regard, I wanted to speak on this politician. This is a politician, I won't mention his name, but I'll give an example of certain politicians like this person. He's a person who is first generation American. I'm a person now that I'm not 40 yet, but I'm claiming it, right? So I'm gonna just call myself 40. I'm 40 years old. I've been in America for 40 years, and my parents has been my parents, and my whole bloodline has been here since slavery and all of that, and probably was here before the Europeans got here. This is the point that I'm making. My opinions on certain things align so much that a person, if I wasn't black, would call me bigoted. So, for instance, I just had this conversation with my sweet neighbor, and she's a black American. She lived through segregation when there was blacks only drink from this water fountain, whites only drink. And she had such a loving Christian heart that she's like, anybody that's come in this country, they got the right to do this and this, that. I said, no, they don't. And then I explained my position. I said, you was here when you couldn't even drink. It was against the law. The law for you to drink out a certain water fountain. Now all of a sudden a person could come over here yesterday and they got the same rights as you in a day, or because they filled out some form, or because they got $5,000, $10,000 in the bank. They didn't earn this. This is earned. This black foundational black American shit is earned. This is something that you can't just learn the Constitution, learn American history, learn to change your accent and voice, pander to the majority opinions called cultural relevantism, or say disheartening things, discouraging things about black people and try to fit in. I'm speaking about a certain politician, but I'm making a point, and I'm not going to say his name because I said we're not being political. Speaking about certain politicians, because he's not the only one. The point that I'm making is, when I looked up, I'm learning this word populist. All right, what happened, homie? I'm learning this word populist, and I'm learning that I'm like this with white people, and I haven't had to be like that with a white person in a long time, but I remember telling this white lady a couple years back, I said, it's my country. If you don't like it, get out. Oh, you should have seen how she looked. She ain't never heard no black person tell her to get out of this country. Yeah, I know you frauds. You just got here. You think because you got the skin and the eyes that this my country. I've been here my whole life. My whole family, generations been there whole life. Nothing is equal about this. I brought up the Bible, and I brought up a part about the Bible. I just learned something recently, as really today. A deist, right? A deist is supposed to be a person of Christian faith who believe in Christianity, but they don't believe in it in totality. So what I mean by that is they believe in the Christian faith, but they don't believe every story of the Bible because it sounds mythical. I never knew that because there's so many different denominations and stuff like that that pop up that you can't just follow every new trend. But I'll say this much. The older I get, when I read the Bible, that funny stuff that sounds funny to me, I don't even pander to it. So I believe in the Bible, but I don't believe every word of the Bible. Perfect example, I never liked the story that they was talking about shekels, right? Shekels, paying people shekels and stuff. And it said a person been working in the field all day. It's like the prodigal son. And this person been working for 8 hours all last hour, paid the same thing. I never, from a kid, liked that story. You couldn't never convince me, no matter how much I bought into the Bible. Why should this MFer get the same thing? Why don't I show up the last hour then? Because all you're going to teach me is if I work 8 hours a day, if I work from 8 to 4, and there's a worker that start coming to work from 3 to 4, and you pay this guy from 3 to 4, what I made from 8 to 4, it's only going to be a matter of time before I say, what the hell am I showing up at 8? I'm going to show up at 3. You can't trick. That doesn't make any sense. So certain parts of the Bible, you got to take with a grain of salt. You got to say, hey, man, this doesn't make any sense. It also talks about respecting your master in the Bible. Wait a minute. I serve one God. Ain't no word. I don't even like the servitude word of master. Even when on the Fresh Prince, he used to say Master Williams and Master what? Ain't no man, no bitch. Pardon me. Let me gather myself. There's no way in the hell over my dead body 6 billion times would I ever call a man master. Gun to my face, 50 cows to my face. What could have? That's the worst insult that I could ever fucking do. It's called another man master. That means you have completely dominated me, have me at your complete submission. I am not nothing. You're my master. You're down in my creator. You might as well be my creator. I came from your balls. Not my daddy and my mama, not my master. So I say that to say certain parts of the Bible I take with a grain of salt. Serve your master, because I understood that there are certain part. You know, I was listening to this white guy lecture yesterday, and I love academia too. I'm always learning, and he said, you know what used to be the most valuable thing when humans were coming along? He said it wasn't money, it was knowledge, it was education. This wasn't something you just gave away like I'm giving away right now. This was something you kept to yourself because it was powerful. How you can implement it, how you can control the masses with what you know. That's why even today, what they do, they withhold information. Because if you keep people blind to certain things, then you have an advantage. If you knew there was a job hiring right now and there was only 10 opening spots and you knew 30 people that needed a job, well, if you told all 20, 30 people, let's say you're the 31st, you're taking from your shot. So you would withhold information to make your chances increase. Same thing with knowledge. Most people in the history of man withheld knowledge so they can have an advantage. And wow, this knowledge, because it's not even free anymore. You can't even find a lot of things you used to find in the early days of Google. With that said, learning these things and knowing this discernment when you read the Bible to say, nah, this is something that somebody switched up the words on this to get favor for themselves. Having said all that, back to the original point. I'm a proud American, and I got viewpoints that might seem bigoted, and I'm non-apologetic about it, because I spent my whole life being black, and I would come back every time being black, and I spent my whole life being American. And my mama and my daddy spent their whole life being black, spent their whole life being American. And they mama and they daddy spent their whole life being black, spent their whole life being American. And they mama and they daddy, and they mama and they daddy, and they mama and they daddy spent their whole life being black and being American. It's something to say for that. If you ever heard of the union, I'm talking about corporations too, but let's talk about the union. When you go to a union job, anybody who's ever been a part of a union, they do roll calls on who gonna do what jobs for the day. First thing they do is they go by seniority. They say, all right, they start off. They might start from 40 years. 40 years. Okay, ain't nobody 40 years, 35 years. And you get your pick of the litter what job you're gonna do, because you put in all this labor, all this time. You're foundational. You set up a foundation. We have people who have entered the country, and I'm not being political, I'm just talking real shit. And it's so funny that a white man would shadow ban me on this. But I guess I understand why, because if you get a black man like me that white people will really deal with, and I'm really black. When I say really black, I don't try to pander to white people. I pander to being American. Like, really though, like, but I'm proud to be black. Like, it ain't, a lot of these guys, they will sell their own people under the damn bridge for nothing, because they just got this self-hate. I mean, I got this self-black love, but I also got this American love. This is a unique thing about myself. And I'm the real definition of America first, I guess. And so it's like, I ain't gonna lie, YouTube keeps shadow banning me. I'm about to go political and say what I want to say. If I'm not gonna get nobody even coming in here, then I'm gonna say what I want to say regardless. What's the point of being shadow banned and still trying to be non-political? I'm trying to keep it clean. I'm about to just keep that. I gotta keep my brand and just pop my shit, because I realize these crackers ain't gonna never let me be exposed to the world. So let me just I'm gonna call this shit out a lot. I'm gonna do it on the next one. I ain't gonna do it for this one. I'm gonna still try to be non-political, right? So this is the point. I truly believe, like, an American person, like, for instance, I believe in reparations. If I the part that I was telling my parents recently, I was saying, you know what's hard for me as a black man in America these days is watching a new generation of law enforcement come up. You hope that when you were young, that the bad crooked apples, like they say, of law enforcement will die out. They will fade off. But all they do is teach it to their kids to keep it going forever. And so when you start seeing a young kid, 20 years old, young enough to be your child, and this, let's call it what it is, this cracker walking the earth like he's just the big shit. And you like, you funk ass cracker, you ain't never put in for this country like I did. Who the fuck is you to act like this your shit? This my shit, bitch. It's like, how do we get past this? How do we ever? It's like they said the only way to kill HIV/AIDS is if everybody stop catching HIV/AIDS and you just let the generation who got it die out. That was the most craziest thing I ever heard, but it's the truth. How do you kill racism other than to stop teaching it and let the motherfuckers who racist die out? But the definition of what is prejudice and bigoted is going to always keep changing. But one thing that needs to be, a line needs to be drawn in the sand, and I think blacks and whites can agree on this, because I agree with these white guys all day. And matter of fact, I'm going to mention this person's name. I ain't going to mention the person's name. I'm going to just say Ohioans. I don't know what they call people from Ohio. Ohioans. I have something in common with Ohioans. I just learned this recently, just as of the last 30 minutes. You cannot act like, you can't just get here just because your parents had you here. Your parents just had you here, and all of a sudden you got all these Judeo-Christian values. And fuck a Judeo-Christian, bitch. What is the fuck is a Judeo-Christian? I grew up in a Baptist church, bitch. We had crackers and grape juice celebrating the communion of Jesus. All this fucking funny ass names, evangelical, fucking 7-Day Adventists, Mormons, Jesus, Lutheran, Protestant, all this dumbass shit. That shit make Jesus sound like it's a multi-religion. We talk about other religions being multi-religion and we having one God being in the Holy Trinity. Well, we need to act like it. We got too many damn denominations. This shit is all money making. A lot of these bitches don't stand on their religion anyway. This shit is all money making. From the black pastor to the white pastor. Bitches scheming, scamming. That's what they doing. Having said that, damn, I still believe what the white guys believe, which is this. But this is the difference between me and the white guys, though. They'll talk about their founding fathers and this and that. Okay, founding fathers, cool. But those founding fathers got all that shit off our backs. You can't talk about the founding fathers without talking about the niggas they were slaving building this bitch. And you can't talk about the niggas they were slaving building this bitch. Then the cracker who had the idea. Cracker say, I got a great idea. I'm just too tired and too lazy to do the shit. And the niggas say, I don't even want to be a part of that shit. But Cracker say, you going to be a part of it anyway. So niggas say, all right, fuck it. Beat me into submission. Rape me into submission. Oppress me into submission. We did that. But now that we fucking here, we here. Can't get rid of us, bitch. We here. So, and another thing I want to speak on real quick. Everybody was trying to make it like, oh, we told you with the ICE, they try to make the little Chicago shit that happened in Chicago last week. They try to talk about, oh, they told you they gonna come after us. And man, fuck, that shit got nothing to do with us. Nothing. Nothing. I just came back from South Florida. And you know what my impression was? Bitch, what the fuck is ICE? Bitch, where is y'all at? Y'all all over the country. Bitch, take y'all punk ass to South Florida. Y'all got a lot of work down there. Bitch, I'm really trying to fight the idea of applying for ICE. Like, bitch can't call me no police if I work for ICE. You can't, bitch. That's like some nationalist, symbolic shit, bitch. Like, get your funk ass up out my shit. Because guess what? This is shit was FUBU. This country is for black and for white. And I ain't talking about for any kind of black or for any kind of white. I'm talking about for a motherfucker who really put in the foundational work into this shit. And that's just my opinion. I'm entitled to have my opinion. I'm entitled to, like that's one thing about it. Not only is it my opinion, I believe it's an opinion shared by a lot of majority. And that's the only problem is we gotta, this is when it get hectic, but this is when it get real. We got a country that we can't run. I can't, you know what it is? I just can't let this shit go. I've tried to be non-political, and when I say political, I only say that to say when you mention Israel, bitch, your shit go to the shits. Your views go to the shits. But fuck Israel. I gotta say this. I can't not say it. These faggot ass cracker, Benjamin, I call him Yahoo. Netanyahu is too fucking long to say. Benjamin Yahoo, this big faggot ass, bulb head ass cracker. This funky bitch is making us look like a fool, bro. And our politicians being so spineless, bro, make us look crazy, dog. And it's sad, bro, because we got some smart crackers, we got some dumb ass crackers, then we got some crackers that's so smart that they dumb. Because they know all this shit. Like I just seen the white guy, he was talking about Benjamin Franklin was a Quaker. Quaker, when I think of Quaker, I think of Quaker oats. I don't have a fucking clue what the fuck is a Quaker. I think of oatmeal, Quaker oats. I think it's like some Protestant shit. Maybe it's got something to do with a Protestant with the little clogs on and the little square in the middle of the shoe and shit. But I ain't never tried to get up into white folk business and know what the fuck is a Quaker. But I was like, look how intelligent this white kid is. Little young guy. But look how ignorant he is, because he don't know shit. Or he's in denial. He's willfully ignorant enough to try to not the ignorant. You can't be this smart and ignore the black contribution to America. You can't. That means you're willfully being ignorant. That's also Charlie Kirk shit. Charlie Kirk was the same kind of person. Smarter than a fucking bitch. Too smart for his own good. Too fucking smart that he can debate anybody. But too dumb to see motherfuckers up under him or betray him just for a piece of his leadership. Because that greed is a motherfucker. And race ain't defined by that. Bitch want your spot. Oh, we'll give you his spot, man. We get him up out of here. This. They did that to Malcolm X. See, he should have been studying other shit other than just, okay, I know how to use this talking points, and this is going to be a great talking point. This is going to be a great... Okay, bitch, study this history. Bitch, they did this shit to all the black. They did it to Martin Luther King. Soon as Martin Luther King died, bitch, all of a sudden, Jesse Jackson supposed to be the leader of fucking some movement. And what the fuck did Jesse ever do to push the needle? Not nothing. What the fuck did Al Sharpton never do to push the needle? Not nothing. Only thing them niggas did was get their version of rich. And they ain't even get billionaire rich. They got peanuts. So it's like they do this shit. It's repeated steps. And it's like we be steady getting swindled. And it's like at some point, it's threshold. You know the cool part about Americans though? Motherfuckers is smart. Motherfuckers know how to say, you know what? Like the Visa H1 Visa shit, whatever they call it shit. They was understanding, they was smart enough to realize corporations was using it to their advantage. Corporations owned by white men was saying, you know what, bitch, I don't want to pay you, bitch. Fuck no, I'm going to import my damn labor. If you going to tell me that I can't ship my job overseas, well, I'm going to ship my worker over here. They do whatever the fuck they can to avoid paying you. If I got to go to workers like Nike in Indonesia, bitch, all the Nikes we done woo over the fucking years made by 10-year-olds and shit. I was just thinking that shit the other day. I was like, I feel like a fool because I was looking for some Nike Air Maxes, right? And I had some raw Nike Air Maxes. I lost them, so I was re-looking for them, right, online. Couldn't find them. Then I come to find out, I just seen a bunch of ads talking about they could have been fake, the kind of Nikes. And I thought these shits were so raw. And it was so high quality, last me for years. And I said, what the fuck is a fake Nike? A fake Nike to me is a Nike made by a little ass kid, 9 years old in a sweatshop, sleepy as fuck, versus this grown ass man who found a way to counterfeit this shit. Took his time stitching this bitch. Bitch, I got the real Nikes, bitch. How you got the real Nikes? I got a grown ass man made my shoe. You got a kid made your shit. Who shit fake? So my point is, Nike ain't gonna open up no factory over here. When the last time you went to, have you ever in your life seen a Nike production factory in America? Never. You seen a Nike factory outlet? I love a Nike factory outlet. But you ain't never seen no fucking distribution center. Nigga, you crazy as fuck. So corporations is running America. Let's just get that understood. The Jews and corporations. The corporations are LLCs that has no loyalty because the LLC is not a person. It's a business ran by evil people, but that business has no moral compass. It don't say, man, you know what? Let's let some American families live and eat and have a livable wage. Hell no. It says, how do we maximize our gain at all costs? We don't give a fuck if we squeeze the life out of this country. They're gonna run this bitch. They're gonna say tear down the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, anything that we could do to cut a corner to bend another dollar. We give a damn if the earth run out in 300 years due to our fucking errors, as long as we live like kings. That's how these motherfuckers is. It ain't no pay it forward. I remember the movie with Kevin Spacey back in the day called Pay It Forward. We had to watch that in high school. These motherfuckers ain't paying shit forward. It's all about them for the moment. Fuck they kids. Fuck they kids. Cause they kids gonna be having dominance over our kids until this bitch do end. It ain't about, oh, you got a right to earn your way up the bracket and make this. Now, don't get me wrong. In theory, you can work hard. You can save your money. You can do this and this and that and that. But if you're not accepted in these social circles, like I was just explaining this shit about rent with some people, they happy they get to go live next door to doctors and lawyers, right? But if you're not a doctor and a lawyer, and you trying to pay the same thing just to live next to the doctor and a lawyer, you're gonna be struggling, bitch. You're not a doctor and a lawyer. You're an idiot. You can't, oh, I live in, yeah, but do you make what he made? No, so what the fuck sacrifices do you gotta make just to even try? You struggling to make it, and this bitch living comfortable going out of town every other week. Come on now. So we got to wake up in a sense with our whole country and our identity to understand that we being played by corporations, LLCs that are not real human beings. And we out here trying to keep up with a small select group that don't have our best interests in mind. And it's working against us, counterintuitive. Once we get that all understood, we can do great in this world. But we can't get shit done and be productive if we let these corporations run us into the ground. If we let corporations donate to, like, okay, two things they talk about checking FARA, making sure Israel lobbyists is registered. Okay, cool, that's one aspect. But the second aspect is these corporations. If you allow a corporation to fucking invest into a political campaign, what the fuck is your interest? What's your angle? What's Walmart angle? What's SoundCloud, Publix, any Fortune 500 company angle? Why should you be able to fucking, you're not a person, you're a company. Worry about company shit. Stay in your lane. Because this politician is gonna fucking hold the laborers down. He gonna say, no, minimum wage is fine. It's perfect. We can't even keep up. We can't keep up with this inflation. You know how we can keep up? Stop fucking printing fiat money and pay motherfuckers livable wages, and start letting motherfuckers come in off these H-1 visas, the control and manipulate the market value of people who are skilled workers. It's that simple. Some intelligent people in this country. I get it. I don't speak that corporation talk that benefits corporations. I speak shit that'll benefit Americans. I understand. That's why, like, these politicians is such full of shit, because they just get out here and they just say what they say and they say what they say and they just do the same lie. You never met no, I'm lying. You have met a politician that probably has did their word to the people, but that politician never went far because they didn't buy into the mass majority. If you can't be bought, you're only gonna go as far as your little local municipality. If you can't say, hey man, this is the group that I'm gonna take in and I'm gonna run with these guys and this guy, shit, that's where it stops. The buck stops there. So I'm here to let me get back to the original point. My original point is this. With all respect for everybody that love America and call themselves Americans, an American to me is a person, and it's just always gonna be this. I know it's maybe I know I have to do better with what I describe as an American at some point. But for now, being just like for my mind currently and where it's been at, American to me is a person who is people was instrumental into the building of this country. That's an American to me. You feel me? Like the foundational leaders. And I heard a guy say it the best way. American can't go to no other fucking country in the world. You ain't never seen an American president overseas that was born in America, went to another fucking country, and became the president. Ever. Ever. Never will you ever see it. Everybody else get to stay on some fucking we who we is. Chinese motherfuckers get to be Chinese forever. North Koreans be North Koreans. Japanese be Japanese. Everybody get, but America got to be the one to just say, hey, everybody's under our no, fuck that shit. Americans is the motherfuckers that were slaves and the slave owners. That's who the fuck Americans is to me. Until further notice. Bitch, like, I don't think I'm gonna ever change that. I can live my whole fucking life. I can respect you and say that you got your visa or your parents had you and your granddaddy might have been born here. Maybe your great granddaddy. But if them motherfuckers went around doing slavery times, you still just got here to me, bitch. You an extended guest. It's like the extended stay hotel. Some people had to get out at 10 a.m. Some people get to leave at 12. Some people extend their stay for the next night. Bitch, you're extended. And I say it respectfully because I love all nationalities. I'm from South Florida. I love eating Jamaican food. I love that little Cuban strawberry banana little shakes. I love eating sushi. Bitch, I'm fucked up by sushi. Especially California, not California rolls. The Philly rolls with the cream cheese and the avocado and the smokes. Oh, fuck yeah, bitch. I love everything. I love this little melting pot. But let's get this shit understood. Bitch, American is foundational motherfuckers that play the institutional role in building this motherfucker. And ain't no cracker in America. Don't ever let them convince you that black people don't play the big institutional role into making this shit. This our shit. Our shit. Whether these stupid ass niggas know it or not, I know it. It don't matter if they know it. I know it. And so that's just gonna be my fucking opinion on that. It was the slave owners. I get slave owners they credit for being institutional because they the one who stole this shit. You feel me? They stole this bitch. They say, you know what? They came and seen some Native Americans. They said, hey, nice ass country. I like this shit. Pretty ass bitch. I like her too. Matter of fact, I think I take both. Matter of fact, I think I'm bringing some niggas over here to till this fucking land. And then we got America. You feel me? And so, bitch, that's what the fuck, that's what this country is. And don't ever forget it. I'm the realest nigga you ever met, bitch. That part, bitch. I'm the realest one. You ain't never met a nigga like me. Matter of fact, hold on, let me change something out. So, bitch, that's what I'm standing on big business from now on. You feel me? If anybody that got an issue with what I say, well, I ain't gotta tell a bitch to disappear because the bitch ain't gonna. One thing about me, I don't got the kind of mouthpiece that a bitch got the heart to sit there and take what I say and just be insulted. A bitch is gonna leave. Her their brain gonna explode. Like, it's gonna be like, what is he saying? Oh my God. But you know what the cool part is? When I be out in the world, in the real world, and I meet white Americans, which I do every day. Maybe it could be them being passive, but my interpretation is they accept what I say and how I feel. I've never had a confrontation that I can recall with a white American saying, damn, what you're saying is wrong. I don't believe you. You're lying. You're this, you're that, you're this, that. I never, ever have I had that. So I know that I'm doing the right thing and saying the right thing. I just know that I'm on a platform that is not for this. This YouTube platform is for showing niggas with guns, niggas with in fights with other black people, white people fucking doing fucking shit that risk their lives for fucking likes and clicks, jumping off buildings and going down hills on skateboards and shit. It's meant for stupid shit. This is not no educational tool where it's meant for powerful things to be picked up by the algorithm. This shit is meant for black misery and white entertainment. And That's what it is. I understand that, but that don't mean that I'm not gonna keep using it because I'm too old to join these new shits like threads. I be seeing this shit be trying to get me to join threads. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? I've already made up my mind even today because I gotta see how my YouTube challenge. I challenged the video. They tried to copyright a live video and they had this rapper named Demurray or some shit. And they try to say that it's copywritten because his song came on while I was making the video and it was playing briefly. And I'm like, bitch, how the fuck this is my words that I'm speaking. Just cause it's song, any song, bitch can come past it playing music, bitch. That don't mean it's their video, bitch. I'm in an open atmosphere with shit going. Somebody else pick up a song and they start playing it, and it wasn't my mindset to say, hey, let me turn on this song. I want you guys to hear this. I want you guys to hear this message. Bitch, that fuck nigga can't never speak like me, speak the words to me. So my whole point is though, I understand that as I get older, as this shit switch up, like, you know, I already told, oh, this is the point I'm making. It said, well, sometimes if you make a fraudulent thing, you at risk for losing your account. I said, man, listen, if I ever lose my account, it probably would be accidentally the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Because I would probably literally get so inspired where I just start my own type of shit up. Like, I remember Vimeo was popping at one point, and I thought Vimeo would challenge YouTube for like streaming and all of that. I didn't, but YouTube is like a monarchy or monopoly where they haven't been challenged because they were owned by Alphabet Inc. And Alphabet Inc. own all this shit, bitch. They bigger than Meta. Matter of fact, I want to say Alphabet Inc. is Meta, the parent company to Meta, and Meta is the parent company to all this other shit. So at the end of the day, it comes down to one company running all this shit under umbrella shell companies. So maybe it'll push me into politics for real, in the street politics, and getting people to sign, you know, and hey man, listen, let's break this shit up. I remember back in the days when social media was first coming about, where these sites popped up every other week, and you either win or you fail. It was a Moco space, it was a MySpace, it was a Black Planet, it was a Kick, it was a this, it was that, and they would last for a year and they go out. And that's what I think YouTube is supposed to be. YouTube is supposed to eventually have its run, and then something bigger come. It was a Snapchat once upon a time. It was a fucking what's the other shit people use that's like Snapchat? It's still kind of big, but I can't remember. WhatsApp. It was a WhatsApp. So these things used to come and go. So that's the problem when one company got control of the shit, because they black ban you, and all of a sudden you can't just go to the opposite they competition and say, hey man, what do y'all think about my opinions? It's just they could just try to mute you. You feel me? So I think like that's where competition and fair market is important, because as long as YouTube is running the show, when YouTube say we don't fuck with your idea, it ain't the people, it ain't the audience, general public saying. Because like I said, I can go hold court in actual public, and I could get 100 people. I go stand up on a bus bench and have people listening to me more than I'm getting with the 2 people here. So I can't be fooled to think that, oh, I'm not attracting the audience. It's the fact that the shadow ban is real, and it's annoying, because it's like, who are you guys to try to hold me down and suppress my words? You know. So that's where we at, man. Sunday Chair says it's been a while. Hi, what it is, Sunday Chair? I'm just blessed. I'm cool. If you go back and check out this video, it's been me a little bit all over the place, but I started this video with saying that I had stopped being political, and I was just trying to keep my channel mutual and talk about like relationships and life, and you know, without actually saying anything about Israel, or saying, because it's like, you say the word Israel, bitch, that's just like political suicide or career suicide. But now I'm of the mindset that fuck that shit. I'm an American. Bitch, I'm practicing freedom of speech. I don't listen. If it was zero likes, zero people in this shit, just off of ego alone, I'm gonna keep talking. Because I know what I'm saying is important. And I know that even if it says zero, they have administrators who can literally cut this down channel as I'm speaking. And they hearing this shit. Just like it remind me of, they used to have a show back in the days called 24. And in 24 with Jack Bowers. And then CIA, they sitting up there, they watching this big ass screen of this motherfucker. They watching on satellites from this motherfucker. They watching everything this bitch do. And I believe that. And I know that stuff is true. So I understand that it might not be the masses that get to see it, but it's going to be a person that leave that office out of that think tank that says, how do we suppress this guy? How do we change his mannerism? How do we, whatever, make him feel destitute to where his point isn't valued to stop him from speaking? And that somebody out of that think tank, they're going to be say, damn, I love his ideas. They're not going to say it in front of their coworkers, but I'm going to convert somebody. So that's why I speak even when it looks like nobody looking, because somebody always looking. And I appreciate you, Cherry, for like checking in, chiming in, you feel me? And I don't want you to feel obligated. I never want anybody that fought with me on my channel that like real deal with me. I never want them to feel like obligated that, because certain things a person might be saying that you might not vibe with on a certain day. And you're like, all right, I'm out. I respect that. I don't take it as no personal offense or anything like that. So, because I know certain times it is what it is. It's not meant for everybody. So, that's where I'm at right now, man. I just wanted to speak on that because I was watching this video of this guy. I still haven't mentioned his name yet, but I'm going to just mention his name now, because now I'm leading into the second part of my conversation, or the last part, which is I was talking about Vivek Ramaswamy. And Vivek Ramaswamy is this Hindu guy. He's a self-hating guy. He wears all this makeup on his face to try to, it's like the Asians. I never understood until I read about it why the Chinese people paint their face really white. And this is a self-hate thing because they was called yellow, but not black people. We ain't make that term up. White Anglo-Saxons made that name up, and Europeans called them yellow. So these Chinese people, Asian people, they put it in their culture a while back ago around this. I don't know. I don't want to put a certain time frame in, but it wasn't forever. And they started painting their face white because it was believed that that's beauty. So they'll paint their face like really pale white, and it just looked weird as hell. And Vivek Ramaswamy lately, when he goes on camera, he puts a lot of makeup on to try to lessen the brownness of his complexion. And he's not understanding what I respect, what I love. I do not just respect it, I respect and love. What I love about real Anglo-Saxon Americans, and when I say real Anglo-Saxon, I'm talking about the people parents was slave owners, and they've been here since this country first came. I'm talking about real Americans. What I love about them is they're gonna hold you accountable. It ain't no fucking, oh, you get to be part of us because you said some shit about black people that was discouraging. You can say, fuck that nigga. You can go hang a nigga with us. You can go shoot a nigga with us. At the end of the day, you're not us, and we're gonna let you know. I love that. I love it because it's that wake-up call, bro. You can pander to these people all you want. You gotta wake up and look at yourself in the mirror and be yourself. It's the same thing with a Ted Cruz, but Ted Cruz is a little different. Now, I got kicked off of Twitter when Twitter was Twitter. I'm the type of person, you kick me off a platform, I never try to return to that. They put so much makeup on. Oh my God, listen, I'm gonna tell you. Let's talk about this Ted Cruz. This is a guy who has an identity crisis. I give you an example. This guy is Cuban descent. Mom and dad is from Cuba. He was born in Canada. Check this out. I've just mentioned two nations right now. Cuba, Canada. He was elected into Congress to represent the state of Texas, which is in the United States of America. So that's three places of his name. America, Cuba, Canada. But he, instead of represent the people of Texas and America, he fights for Israel and said he was sent to Congress to represent Israel. That's four nations I just mentioned. If that's not a person, right, and I mentioned, yeah, because Texas is a state that's in the United States of America. It's really five places because Texas tried to secede America, meaning that Texas tried to be his own country before. And I've spoken to nauseum a little bit that I believe there are three states within the United States of America that if they was to secede today, meaning that if they was to denounce, let's just say like a person, a U.S. citizen, can denounce their citizenship. If there was a state that can denounce their statehood and say, hey, I want to apply for being my own country, those states that can do that and survive would be California, Texas, and Florida, possibly New York. But those are the 4 places that I believe, 3 to 4 places that can denounce, and they don't need America. They don't need nothing. They don't need no government money. They make enough off of tourism and their GDP to survive on their own. And so those are the places. Having said that, so you can almost look at it as 5 places rather than just 4. Point is, he was elected by Texans on behalf of the Texans, but he serves another country. And I say, what did you expect from a Cuban born in Canada running in Texas representing Israel? This is a guy who's all over the place. This is a guy who has split multi-dimensional personalities. When a person is broken, when you break an item, it no longer is 1, it's 2. And if you throw the item back on the ground, it's no longer 2. If you throw both of them on the ground at the same time, it's no longer 2, it's 4, 5, 6. So this guy has been shattered, and we can't trust in America a person who doesn't have self-identity. We can't. That's black, white, anything. If you don't, and to me, and that's what I'm saying, I'm strong on my opinion. I'm never going to fold for my opinion. There's black American, there's white American, and then there's everybody else trying to figure out what they want to go with. And most people tend to, they go with what's favorable for them, which is, I'm going to try to align myself. Like, for instance, if you're an Indian, you're a Mexican, you get over here, you're trying to have a baby with a white person. So you can say, hey, look at my kid. Look at my kid. Look, I had me a Nick Fuentes. Respectfully to Nick Fuentes, because he's a great American, do a great job talking the American shit and all that and all that. But at the end of the day, you're going to do what his parents did. You're going to say, hey, man, I got to go have me a baby with a white person to try to water this down a little bit. I'm not, if you go have a baby with a black person, we're just as much American. But you looking at the majority mindset. You're trying to pander to the majority mindset. We've been here forever. And like, perfect example, I just came back from South Florida. So that's what got me back on my pro black American shit, because I'm up in Georgia, and I think the beauty of Georgia is, when I first got up here, I seen so many just regular black Americans, and I seen so many just white Americans. Don't get me wrong, you got like Spanish population up here, but it's not as much, and it's not as pronounced. Like, they don't ride around with their flags hanging out their car of what country they represent. So now I just was in you might as well call it South America. I was in South Florida, and I remember I had 2 bad experiences. One bad experience is, one girl, I asked her how many coupons did I have on this card for my daughter, meaning that I was playing video games with my daughter and you win tickets. So I say, sweetheart, can you tell me how many points did I redeem? What's wrong with that? I just said, how many points did I redeem? She said, huh? I said, how many points did I redeem? Maybe she didn't hear me. What? Now I'm getting frustrated. God damn, this puss out. I just said, how many points did I redeem? Ma'am, check my card. Now I'm talking like it's like sign language or some shit. How many points did I redeem? How many points are on my card? What? This is the 3rd fucking time. So this black dude, young black kid, Afro, this, that. I say, mind you, now I just talk ghetto to him. I don't even have to even say how many points that I redeemed. I say, hey, fam, hey, check the card. Tell me how many points I got on the wall. Whoa, short for Woden. Literally just like that. Hey, fam, check this card. How many points I got on the wall? And he literally grabbed my card, and I said, this freaking idiot. And then I pointed at her. She act like she don't understand English. And you should have seen the look on her face, because now I got you in a conundrum. If you respond to me in a negative way, that means you understand English. And if you don't respond, that just means I still win. Catch 22. You don't fucking understand English. What the fuck is you on the register for? They always say, oh, they ain't taking American. You just took an American job who understand English, and bitch, you don't understand English, but you on the goddamn register. I'm not in your country. I don't have to play that pander shit. I don't like, I was telling my neighbor, I spoke a little Spanish for my neighbor yesterday. I spoke a little Creole for her. I said, do you have any clue of what I just said? She said, no. I said, you know how I learned that? I grew up in South Florida. Some of this shit, sometimes it's necessary in order to survive. It's actually a good business practice if you're going to live in South Florida, because that's how you're going to make more money. But my whole point is, it shouldn't be an obligation. I'm in America. We speak English in this bitch. if I don't work out in one state, I got 49 more I could go to. That's how this shit supposed to work. It ain't supposed to be I gotta pander to you and I gotta adjust. No, you bitches adjusting me. You came to my shit. You don't go to another bitch house and then they gotta adjust to your ways. No, you gotta adjust to their way. You in their crib. So my whole point is that was one incident. Then the second incident was with this girl. I'm assuming she's Jewish because that's heavy in South Florida. This girl's an asshole. Last year when I took my daughter to this amusement place, my daughter liked this little favorite little ride she want to do. She said my child was too short. And this is the part what I'm talking about when people get over to America. They first thing they try to do is shit on black people. And then they try to pander to the white person. But they don't realize the real Anglo-Saxon is gonna let you, they gonna let you pander to them. Yeah, fuck that nigga. Yeah, I agree, fuck that nigga. And then when you get out of line and try to overstep them or think you equal, they gonna sit your ass back down and say, no, let's turn it down a notch. You not on my level. So fucking this girl, she let the little white boy, she tried to let the little white boy get on the ride. I said, hell to fuck no. I made a big scene of it at this point. I was being nice. And then I just made a big scene because I know that's how you get your way as a nigga. You got to show your ass. So freaking, the manager come over. I say, she trying to let this kid, he's shorter than my child. Yeah, he a boy, but he's shorter than my damn child. How the fuck he can get on? So you know what she does? No, she did it even before the manager got there. She tried to say, oh no, well, he won't get on neither. And this is the point. This is how you know legit hate. Instead of just let both of them get on because you was bending the rule for this little white boy, you say, fuck it, I'd rather white boy not get on just so your little black daughter can't get on. And so, goddamn, this was a year ago. So come back, let's go to recently, the other day. I'm at this place. Same goddamn girl, which means she not doing good in life. Oh, you been there too long. They ain't making no money like that. But anyway, same female. We at this point again. And she tried to tell me how much the shit costs to try to discourage me from getting my child on the ride. And a lot of shit almost was effective. I was almost like, God damn, that much? Because it wasn't that before. But I said, you know what? Okay, cool. So I said I pay it. All of a sudden, oh, well, I don't think she's the height. I said, man, we're not, go ahead and get your manager right now, little mama, because we did this last year, baby girl. You just try to put the cost on me. I told you I pay the shit. And all of a sudden, you talking about some height. So I'm going to hold dude to his word. I remember the manager now. I think his name Justin. I'm going to hold him to his word. He said, come back in a month. He said, in a month, like as if my baby gonna fucking goddamn all of a sudden had this growth spurt in a goddamn month. So I'll come back in probably 3-4 fucking months. And I told my neighbor, I said, I'm so glad I'm doing great in life. Because if I wasn't doing great in life, I would have slapped that hoe down in front of everybody, bitch. Like, I had my people with me where they would be able to take my daughter so I wouldn't be like I was risking going to jail and my baby get taken. But fucking, I would have slapped the fucking fire this fuck ass hoe. So I end up telling her manager there, she sucks. She does like this to her manager. Ah. And I looked at him, I said in front of him, I said, dude, you look like a white man. She could barely speak fucking English. You let her talk to you like that? And this is what frustrates black Americans. We had to deal with these funk ass crackers giving us attitude for 400 years in this goddamn country, slaving us and beating us, killing us. But all of a sudden, when it comes to these Europeans who just got here, Benjamin Yahoo, I'll call him Yahoo, not Netanyahu, Benjamin Yahoo and the rest of these crackers, oh, y'all bend a hole, you bend your back, you break your neck, you put your lip gloss on it, ask how much dick do you need to suck. We getting tired of that shit. Don't treat us like shit. And then you bend your back for the Ukrainians and all these other fake ass Americans. I'm calling fake ass American. I'm not taking on how white they is or not white. I'm talking about they're not fucking legit Americans. You importing Americans in, which is disrespectful to the trailer park Americans. I live in rural Georgia, so I run across some poor white people every now and then. And they just as pissed. They're probably more pissed because they see the shit. They been stuck in they damn trailer park for a couple generations now. And they watching their benefits that they depend on, that y'all used to always say black people, we welfare babies and we depend on. No, bitch. No, so that's why you heard your boy Bannon, Steve Bannon, Donald Trump, boy. He said, man, MAGA, a lot of MAGA depends on Medicaid, boy. It's gonna be a lot of so. And I'm proud to be an American. Well, at least I know I'm free. See, the thing is this, man. It just ultimately comes down to if you went to a family reunion and family get to arguing, you know the best thing you could do? You know, I appreciate what women do. When I've had disagreements with my mother, I ain't never had a woman, and I'm glad because I don't even know how I would have responded. I probably would have been a fuck nigga if I wouldn't have responded in a bad way. But if I get in an argument with my old girl, I ain't never had a woman say, "Why your mama talking to you like this? This." I ain't never had one of them validate what I was saying or how I was feeling. If I was feeling negative about my old girl, they always just said the political answer, which is that's your mama, respect your mama, this, that. And they stayed neutral. Having said that, I appreciate that because who's to know how they know just like I know probably or knew subconsciously that if they was to pick a side, my mama gonna be my mama forever. And we gonna always make up. Like we gonna make up. It ain't gonna take us long to make up. Within hours, mate. Even if my mama don't make up with me as quick, I'ma made up in about 2 hours. I'ma be thinking, oh man, my boo boo, I done said some things I should not said, and this, that, and the third, and you know. So I say all that to say, freaking if that was the situation, hold on, let me get right real quick for the. I'm just hanging out today, man. I'm popping a little shit today. I'm feeling good, man. It's a good Monday. God bless. Oh, fuck me. God damn. Anyway. So, point is, that's how it is with America. You got motherfuckers that get here, and all of a sudden, bitch, they think that they could just go to critiquing us and talking shit about us. And bitch, you ain't even put no dues down into this goddamn country. You ain't never had, you know what I mean by dues? I'm gonna tell you what I mean by dues. Putting dues down is the first time I ever had a police situation or run in with law enforcement. I was 12 years old, maybe 13. And I doubt I was 13. I want to say I was 12 because I hadn't lost my virginity yet, and I lost my virginity when I was 12. So I was 12. I was going to the corner store late night. Had no business being out, but it doesn't freaking matter. Minding my goddamn business, going to get me some salt and vinegar Tom's chips. I don't even know if they still make Tom's salt and vinegar, but they used to be the shit, right? So boom, going to get me some salt and vinegar chips, probably some boiled peanuts. And these white cops, we used to call them jump out boys. And they used to wear these gloves on their fucking hand. And them gloves was because they was going to whoop your fucking ass. Whether they take you to jail or not, they're going to get out and possibly beat the shit out you and illegally search you. It was like the stop and frisk in New York. So, damn, matter of fact, I'm going to say this for the next chat. I'm going to start me another one and then rephrase this. I'm going to start me another one. I like this, though. 58 minutes, that's a good one.